My name's Jackie Langs. I jump around in the bush, eat green leaves, and I also eat a lot of grass. I've been shot at, run down by cars, fires and the droughts, and I've also been in lots of fights. It's tough being a kangaroo. It's tough being a kangaroo.
For about 30 years actually we've been taking in wildlife and we've been learning from other people that do the same things, and over that 30 years the whole movement has grown, so there's a lot of people running wildlife shelters now and a lot of accumulated knowledge and help. Because they're wild, they're really scared and they come into a wildlife shelter and they don't know what's going on, they don't know people, and it's all very overwhelming for them. So while we're a big group of people, it might be a bit overwhelming for them, so the thing to do would just be to go quietly. Okay, so come on in, we'll meet the rest.
Did she come back when she was sick, Chris?
I have had that happen, yes.
Yeah. Oh my god. Cute.
And Midget was the one who belonged to one of mine that we released here, and she came back sick, being in their mother's pouch. So they can dive down and hide and be warm and cosy. But they can also jump in and out of them. And these two are at the age where they're still having bottles. They have 4 bottles a day of milk, special kangaroo milk that we have. And they're also learning to eat, they're learning to eat grass. We give them a bit of horsey meal as well. It's special milk that has no lactose in it, because for some reason native animals don't digest lactose in milk, so they don't like cow's milk and they get diarrhoea. So it's a lactose-free milk. The one we use is called Diabetolac, which is just a very general one you can buy in the vet. Hey guys!
And these animal stories are?
Yep.
Oh.
Sometimes he'd be running next to her and sometimes he'd be riding.
Yeah.
When you pat them, if you get to pat them, they like to be patted under the chin. They don't like it on top of their heads for some reason. They probably think they're being attacked.
Frightens them, yeah.
Now, some little kangaroos of this age wouldn't tolerate all you people here. They'd be just so scared. But little Heathcliff, I don't know why, but he's just particularly brave. He doesn't seem to be too fussed. Do you? I'll put you down.
I'm just going to take the photo.
He was there this morning, so he's probably not hungry.
And what is wrong with him?
You see how his leg's sticking out sideways?
Oh, yeah.
It must have been fractured, and he's a baby as well, so he's an orphan.
And he's off.
He can. They want to come down and they hear them call and they try and feed them and they can adopt them. They're all not loving. They're funny animals. They're hard to understand. They just sit there and you don't know whether they're happy or sad. And like kangaroos, you know, they come up to you and they love you or they're scared of you or something. But the koalas are just hard to read.
Do you get much wombats?
Yeah, we do actually get a few. They're just so much fun.
My mate had a pet wombat. They said it was just like a big dog.
Yep. They roll over, they play, their personalities, they're naughty, they chew all your furniture, they bang your doors.
They're pretty much a dog.
Funny you should say that, because one day I came out here and there was these 2 giant hunting dogs, you know those awful looking things?
Yeah.
Asleep in this pen here. I went, what are they doing here? And luckily I was able to sort of handle them a bit and I got them into this cage so that they were trapped. And the rangers took them away and I was thinking, oh, thank goodness they didn't catch anything. And then I'm walking up to our office and there was Rumpole, who'd been out free for years, torn to like his ear was hanging off, and it was a big gash. They'd got him. We took him to the vet and the vets were saying, I think you have to put him down. I'm going, oh. no, I'm not putting him down. And we got another opinion, and they said, I think he'll be all right. Just let him heal. And we did, and he is.
He's
So he's a
fine.
bit of a one-eared wombat, but he's otherwise good.
At least
Yeah.
Things changed, like 2 weeks ago, all my inside cats were out here because we went away, and these cockies were in cages in the house. I rotate all the pens, so the beds were for the cats. It's all voluntary. So, in fact, the government's not really interested too much in supporting it because they have an attitude sometimes that animals just should be used, not cared about. And so they think it might be a little bit emotional and silly, this sort of work that we do.
Yeah.
We actually are licensed by the government to do it, and part of our license says that you can only keep an animal that can be re-released into the wild. You're not supposed to keep them forever and ever. So you have to judge which animals are going to make it and which aren't. Sometimes we have to put them down early if there's a shocking broken leg or a limb that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they get released. They're supposed to go back to where you found them, but often that's not quite practical. If you find them on the freeway, example, you're not going to drop them back on the freeway.
When
So
the animals are rehabilitated.
they tell you. You think they love you, like this. We have wombats. Unfortunately, the wombat's not home today, but they love you. They want to be in your bed. They're just with you the whole time. And then they,
hole there.
yeah, that's the wombat hole. And then they start wanting to go outside. And you think they'll stay with you forever, but suddenly the call of the wild takes them and they just say, nah, I'm off. And they don't turn around like in the Walt Disney movies and say goodbye either. The wombats do disappear. The kangaroos tend to hang around a bit, and so I still see a lot of my kangaroos. They have their own little mobs.
Look at what these truckers have done to my brothers. We get hit on the road, sometimes by dozens. Burnt to a crisp when fires come through. Our lives are ending because of you.
My name is Lisa Milligan, and at the moment you're at Wild About Wildlife. As you can see, we've got all different sizes. We have a big male down the back. It's all right, kids. A big male, quite a few females, and a lot of these babies are like last year babies. There's a couple of this year, so they're getting ready now to be released. So this is one section here. Then we go into another section which is in the middle. That section there is for animals that have had severe trauma, and they're put in there on their own so the bigger kangaroos on this side don't annoy them, and they're a little bit quarantined. For about 6 years I've been a shelter. Basically I fell in love with them. Well, I don't have a lot of spare time, but I am one of these lucky ones that we get people from overseas to help us with our chores. So we have kids from all over the world that may stay here, and we give them meals, and in return they help us look after the wildlife.
Awesome.
So they can come and go, and then eventually they'll just go.
And how far away is that shop?
I do mine at the moment. I've done a fair bit over in King Lake where the fires went through. So back into the national park over there. The car's a bit frightening.
Yeah.
They actually like it, but it can be frightening. All right, we'll quickly go through here and then you can see Peggy. So these 3 pens here are for bigger kangaroos that have got injuries. I can find them from walking. Well, he can't walk. He was caught in a fence, so he has nerve trauma. So that can take up to, as I was saying, can be anywhere between 4 to 12 weeks. And then 3, nobody else will use it. So we go through a lot of donated mattresses. But it looks like they're all sunning. But that's our whole kangaroo section. At the moment we are trying to sell up our property and buy a bigger property, so I can have bigger enclosures and be able to release. To tell you the truth, I don't count them, but we've got around 50 at the moment. We do a soft release, so they go to another shelter that can open up their gates that may face out onto a national park, and they're softly released. So that's a little section that we just have.
You don't have any in there?
Birds.
No possums or anything in there?
No. We did have a koala not long ago, but so if they come in and they can't be released back to the wild, then we rehome them.
Yep.
Wombat enclosure being built. You would have walked past that. Yep, you've got a drop. You could be eating your dinner. You need to get to that animal as soon as possible because you know it's injured and might be in pain. So yeah, we just drop everything and we go. Unless we can get somebody else to go on that call. Might be closer to another shelter that I know, but majority we take all our call outs. No. My husband, if it wasn't for my husband and for his love for wildlife, we wouldn't be doing it. A lot's got to come out of his wage. We all sacrifice so we can help the kangaroos. We don't go on holidays. We don't go out for dinner, just little simple things. So yes, to run a shelter does cost a lot of money, but we are lucky we have the support of a vet. So a lot of our medications and other needs that the kangaroos need are supported by him. So not that we're in the middle of nowhere, that we get more injured closer to the cities and to closer major highways. Always wanted to hand raise a joey and my wish came true. Not only have I hand raised one, I've hand raised lots.
And thank you.
Quite a lot, so I have to sleep with them. It's the only way I can settle them down. That's a little baby wallaby, little swampy. Yeah, so yeah, sometimes they choose where they're going to.
So that was a little wallaby, was it?
That was a little swamp wallaby. I've got to watch them. They come into this room and I can watch them 24/7. This is my living room and my sleeping area. But at the moment my kids are in here as well and things are cramped and we've got extra couches because we're sanding the floor. So here we've got a little pinky wombat, which again just takes a lot of time. I've got to get up every 4 hours and feed.
Incubator over there, is that
That's normally just for critical care.
critical?
So if anything comes in really cold, we can't warm them up too quickly or we kill them.
Yeah.
So if I put them in here and I can just slowly turn up the temperature, I can bring their body temperature back up. Might leave them in there for a week. And then once they're retaining their own heat, then we can just put them on a heat pad. Yeah. So sometimes we use it for a long period and it depends on what age they're at as well. If their eyes were shut and their ears were back, they'd probably be in there for a lot longer. Oh, for sure. You have to have the passion. I mean, you're dedicating your whole life to the animals. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours. But you got to take the bad with the good.
tough being a kangaroo.